For the last couple of months, I have successfully been raising baby Bosemani Rainbowfish. So, not the dwarf neon rainbows that you saw in that tank then, but the big yellow and blue ones. I'll show you those now. So they are the parents and these are the babies. So I've never really raised fry before, baby fish. And the reason I went to try is because every morning I see the Bosemani Rainbowfish like breeding sort of thing, breeding behaviour. Because that's what they do. They usually do it every morning, and it's really crazy to watch. The males chasing each other, chasing the females, and it's mad. It's really interesting to see. But I thought nothing of it, and then the one morning I was watching them, and I seen all these eggs come out of the female, and I couldn't believe it. I didn't actually think they were laying eggs or anything. Obviously there was, but what I then saw was the rest of the fish just instantly eat the eggs. Just as soon as they came out, the other fish were just waiting, all the same species, just waiting to eat them, and they did instantly. So all this time they've been laying eggs and they've just been getting eaten straight away. So what I thought I'd do is put in a spawning mop. So this is a DIY spawning mop. If you Google it, you'll see how to make it, but essentially it's just a ball of wool, and then I just put a cork in the middle so it floats, and then a little loop on top so I can just secure it in one place without it spinning around the tank in the flow. And because of the way it is, it like dangles down in the water, the fish see it as like roots and stuff of plants or whatever, and they instantly just go to it to breed. I don't know if that happens with all fish or most fish, but with rainbow fish that's exactly what they do. And what this allows me to do is, once I see them in the morning breeding or whatever, after a couple of days actually, I move the spawning mop into this small tank. You couldn't really see the eggs on it, but obviously the spawning mop did have eggs on it. I just moved it straight into this tank that was already set up, and then just keep checking every day, every couple of days, to see if any of the eggs on there hatched, if there were any eggs, to see if they hatched. And what I did was I had 3 of these spawning mops, and I actually just rotated them. So after a week of it being in the tank with the fish, I moved it into this one, and I put a second one in after a week or a couple of days a week, moved that into this one. So in total I had 3 spawning mops in this tank, and I thought, I didn't think much of it. I didn't think I was going to get any fish. I couldn't really see any eggs, not many eggs, but I kept checking, and after about a week or 2 I just seen so many baby fish, like 100, maybe more. I just couldn't believe it. They're about the size of a grain of sand. It was mad. And I just had kept them all in this little 30-litre Denali aquarium, sponge filter, heater, put it at 25 degrees Celsius. I googled it and it said it's quite hard to raise rainbow fish fry. So I thought, I'll give it a go, give it my best shot. And I just fed them, because on the internet as well it said, you need to feed them cultured live food and all that, like microscopic live food that you culture in jars. And I did try that, to be fair, but I couldn't do it. I couldn't get anything grown in there. So in the end, I just crushed up loads of different foods. So I got about 3 or 4 different brands of fish food, and then I just crushed it up into the tiniest powder that I could, and twice a day I just sprinkled it in there. And I don't think I've seen one dead fish. So this was a couple weeks ago, this footage, and even in here they've been alive 4 to 8 weeks, and I just fed them that, the crushed up, ground up fish food, a bit of spirulina, a bit of high protein fish food, mixed it all in, and they're just doing really well. I've still got them, obviously. I'll show you what I did with them now. So in my last video I showed you the new aquarium that I set up for the 3 dwarf neon rainbow fish. Again, they aren't the parents of this. The parents are the Bosemani Rainbowfish. But obviously I didn't want that 30 litre Denali tank to be their home forever, because it's really hard to do water changes. It's a very small volume of water and it was in my kitchen. I just wanted to move them into a bigger body of water, so the water would be of a better quality and I could do water changes easier without the fear of getting sucking them up or losing them. So here they are in a little tub, just being while I transport them. I just thought I'd do some footage of them before I put them into the new tank. So this is a breeder box. Got it off eBay, cost me about £8. And it's just a plastic frame with a net around it. I just poured all the baby fish fry into this breeder box. It's quite a small area for so many fish, but it means I can spot feed them in here, which means I can directly feed them. And also, this is for their own protection, so the neon dwarf rainbow fish won't eat them, because they were, even though they're behind the net, they're still trying to go for them. Again, I showed this tank in the last video, but now you know what's in that breeder box. You can see how this is set up. So even though they are in a smaller space in the breeder box, the volume of water that they're actually sitting in, you know, the tank itself, is 3 times the size as the Denali tank, which was 30 litres. So this is a 90 litre tank, 90 litre system. It's got a proper filter on there, big filter. So all in all, they'll do better in this tank, in this breeder box. And what I do is, from here on, every fish that I see that's quite big, I'll move them into the actual main tank out of the breeder box. So some of the fish in there are twice the size of the other fish in the talking about the fry in the breeder box. So if I think they're big enough to not be eaten, I'll move them individually into the actual main tank. So as you can see in here, there's quite a few baby fish already in there that are quite big. So those are the ones that I released one at a time. Every time I see one that looked a lot bigger than the rest of them, I move them, because they were growing quite rapidly. And then they got to the point where they were all big enough to be released. They've been in that breeder box for quite a while now, quite a few weeks. The breeder box was gaining algae that I couldn't clean very easily. So I just thought I'll release them all into the tank in one go. And as you can see, the dwarf neon rainbow fish are a bit nippy. They do go for a few of them, but they were all fine. None of them got eaten. I don't think the dwarf neon rainbows could actually eat them, to be honest. I know their bodies are quite big, but I don't think their mouths are big enough to eat any of the fry. And from this point onwards, they'll only get bigger. And they might actually grow up quicker in this larger tank. One, because I can feed them more, because it's more water, better water quality, so I can throw a lot more food in there. And also it's just a bigger area for them to swim about. So a couple of weeks later, all the fish are swimming harmoniously with each other. And you can see some of these fish fry are quite big now, because their parents are the Bosemani Rainbowfish, which grow up to be about 5 inches for the males. So they can grow quite big, and it will only be a matter of time before they grow up to be bigger than the dwarf neon rainbows in here. So it's been quite a fun process, and a lot easier than I thought it would be. After reading on the internet about raising fish fry, I thought I was going to have a big issue with feeding them food that they'll take and food that they can actually physically eat that's small enough. But you know, after just feeding the ground up fish food, they seem to be doing really well. And like I said, I don't think I've seen a single dead one. So yeah, hopefully they all grow up to be really big, nice, healthy fish. And I haven't got the room for all of them. Like if all of these like grow up to be full size, I don't have the room for them. So either, well, what I'll do is I'll keep a few of the nice ones, some of the bigger ones, and I'll have to sell off the rest of them to maybe just my local fish store. So I'll make more videos of these in the future, just about how they're doing. And it should be really interesting to see. So yeah, thank you for watching.